Okay, we are live. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Antrea live show. Today, we are gonna talk about the Egress, and we invited friends from Beijing team to join us. So welcome Wenqi, and
Hello.
welcome Jianjun.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. So before we start, would you like to give us a short self-introduction? Wenqi, would you like to go first?
Hello everyone. My name is Wenqi, and I'm one of software engineer. Now I'm working in Beijing team. So
Welcome, Wenqi. It's your first entry lecture, right? Okay,
yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
So, what about you, Jianjun?
Sure, everyone. It's Jianjun here. So I'm from engineering team of VMware, and I'm a maintainer of Project Antrea. I have been on the show for several times, but I'm very glad to be on the show again.
Welcome, Jianjun. Jianjun is our old friends, right? If you watch more videos from there's one more friend join us today. It's Quan Tian. Quan Tian is also from Beijing team, right?
Yes. Hello.
And this is your first live show, so welcome. And would you like to start with the self-introduction?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Tian Quan, and I'm from VMware Beijing team, and I work in Antrea project.
Quan is also a maintainer of Project Antrea. Just for people who don't know him.
Okay, thanks for joining us today. And we also have a new friend called Zhou Zhengsheng. Nice to meet you, and welcome to this show. And if this is your first time watching our show, you can check our channel and consider liking or subscribing our channel. So Wenqi, would you like to start your demo about the Egress?
Oh, okay. Let me share my screen.
Oh, by the way, so if this is your first time watching our show, you can sign into YouTube and send comments in the in the comment part, and we will show your comments on our screen. But you need to sign in to do the comment. Okay, so everyone say hi in the comments to let me know you are here. Okay, sorry to interrupt, Wenqi. Are you sharing your screen now?
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Sorry. So let me share my screen. Hello everyone. Very glad to have the opportunity to show the English feature here. Firstly, let me introduce myself again. My name is Wenqi, and I'm one of the one software engineer, and I'm working in Beijing team. Today, my presentation will divide into five parts. Firstly, I will introduce what is Antrea Egress and when we'll use this feature. Then I will use a demo to show you how to use Antrea Egress to manage external access from the ports in a Kubernetes controller in a cluster. Finally, we can talk about something about the high availability, availability egress if we have some time. And feel free to raise your questions if you have any during this presentation. And then let's start. Firstly, what is Egress? Antrea Egress is a CRD API that manages external access from the pods in a cluster. It supposes as not the traffic from the selected post to the external network using the specific egress node IP. When selected post access the external network, the egress traffic will be tunneled to the nodes that host the egress IP, which we call egress node. If the egress node is different from the node that the pod runs on, and the traffic will be assigned to the egress IP when leaving that node.
So is the egress node only send the traffic, or is like a normal workload node which will like have other like service running on there?
The egress node is just a normal node.
Okay.
Yeah, but it can but it's different from normal node. Some traffic to external network can through this node. Okay.
Yeah, probably I can add something here. I think egress node can be a regular Kubernetes worker node. But just like I think later probably Wenqi will show in his demo, whatever. It's like when you configure the egress, you can define external IP pool, and in the external IP pool, you can select what node you want to be your egress nodes for this egress policy.
Okay.
In theory, it can be any node, but of course, user can also plan for specific set of nodes they want to do this egress traffic for some specific ports in the cluster.
Okay, gotcha.
It probably will be clear if later we see the demo here.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Let me continue. When do we use Antrea Egress? You may be interested in using this feature if you have ever encountered those usage scenarios. Firstly, you may need constant IP address to connect to the to service outside of the cluster, such as source tracing in audience logs, or if you want to filter source IP in external firewall, or you want to force outgoing external connections to leave the cluster with certain nodes for security controls.
Yeah, I think in general, it's just like it allows you to control the asset IP for egress traffic. So if you have any service outside the cluster, for example, I think when she gave some example, like any audit log service or maybe some external firewall that we need to identify the traffic based on the source IP, then you can use that asset IP to identify the traffic and apply your policy here.
Yeah.
Okay, I see Vivek is here. Hi, Vivek, welcome. And I see you have a question about can there be like multiple ingress node? I think that we will cover this part. We can answer this question when we talk about the when we take a closer look at the ingress node.
But the simple answer is yes, I think.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so, sorry to interrupt. Wenqi, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Next line. This two simple figures shows how network traffic works changed after we use Egress. After we use Egress, the Egress traffic from the post will be turned to the node host the Egress IP. Next, let me introduce some Egress future release information. Egress is introduced in release 1.0 as the alpha feature. In this release, Egress only support static egress. It means that the SNAT IP must be specified when creating the egress. Then we introduced the high availability egress in release 1.2. In this release, a new CRD external IP pool is introduced to support failover if the egress node goes down. It means that the egress IP will be located from external IP pool. And the good news is that the Antrea community is planning on graduates the egress future on to beta in Antrea 1.6 is scheduled for the 18th of this month. Okay, then let me introduce Antrea egress resource CRD. Here is a egress resource example. There are many three field. Firstly, the applied to field specifies the post to which the egress applies to. Post can be selected cluster word using post selector. If set with namespace selector or post from namespace selected by the namespace selector will be selected. Specific post from specific namespace can be selected by providing both post selector and namespace selector. Empty apply to select nothing. Notice that the applied to field must be set in an egress. Then egress IP. The egress IP field spaces the SNAT IP, the traffic from the selected post to the external network should use. Notice that the IP must be reachable from war nodes. Then finally, there is.
Sorry for interruption. And this egress IP is optional, right? I think if it's not provided, then Antrea will automatically allocate one from the egress external IP pool. Probably you will come to that. Sorry for interrupting you. Probably you will talk about that last, I guess.
So one more question from Vivek. So will the egress node support multiple interface to which IP pools can be allocated?
Wenqi, if you like, I can take this one. Sorry,
I didn't raise your question.
So, well, the the egress node support multiple interface to which IP pools can be allocated?
Okay, how about let me take this one. I think if the question means could we use multiple interfaces on the egress node to send the egress traffic, then actually it's a little complicated. In a typical case, we don't. The egress IP must be reachable from all other node from the transport interface, basically the interface we use to send the port traffic through overlay. But it's also possible if you have multiple interfaces on your egress nodes, and you have some stake routes, for example, to route the traffic to route traffic to go through other interface. That is also possible. So it depends on your routing table on the egress nodes. But a more typical case, probably we just support IPs on a single network interface on the egress nodes.
Thanks for taking that one. And also I see Jay is here. Welcome, Jay. And okay. Yeah, please go ahead, Wenqi.
Oh, okay. Then let me introduce another important resource CRD, external IP pool. The external IP pool defines one or multiple IP ranges that can be used in the external network. The IPs in the pool can be located to the egress resource as egress IPs. This is external IP pool resource example. There are three important field. Firstly, IP range. The IP ranges field contains a list of IP range representing the available IPs of this IP pool. Each IP range may consist of CRD or a pair of star and IPs. Notice that the star and end IPs are included in the range. Node selector. The node selector fields specifies which nodes the IPs in this pool can be assigned to. It's useful when you want to limit egress traffic to certain nodes. Notice that the node selector field can be empty, which means all nodes can be selected. Then I will show the relationship between external IP pool and the egress. This image shows the relationship between the egress and the external IP pool. Before we create egress using external IP pool, we must create external IP pool first. In this image, the external IP pool IP ranges start from 10.10.0.2 and to 10.10.1.1.10. It means that the free IPs was from the start to the end. And then there is a node selector whose rule is egress gateway. So it means all the nodes in the cluster who has a neighbor rule equal to egress gateway can be an egress node. if a node was selected as an egress node, it can get an egress IP from the external IP pool. Then the egress resource there is apply to field in this resource, and the port selector is app equal to pro. So in the cluster, if the in the cluster, all the ports will be selected if it's if it has a label app equal to pro, then the port traffic to the internal network will be assigned to will be assigned by the egress node. Then finally, it has an external IP pool field, which is from the external IP pool on the right. You can see the external IP pool is equal to the external IP pool resource name, external IP pool demo. Oh, okay. Let me continue. Next slide. Then how to use Antrea Egress? As with other alpha features, the future gate egress must be enabled on Antrea controller and Antrea agent for the feature to work. So if the Antrea version you used is newer than 1.0, you can experience the egress feature. You maybe just need two steps. Firstly, modify the Antrea YARN field and then restart the Antrea. Then there is a Kubernetes cluster in my event. We can have a practice about the egress. So let me start queues. See my screen. There's three nodes in my cluster. There is a control plane node and two worker node. First, so there are two nodes in the cluster. Node one and node two. We can step by step. Let me first reset the cluster, and then we can create a new and a clear cluster. Kubernetes let me reset. This is the work node. Reset.
So you reset all the previous configuration on the two worker node?
Yeah. They will install a new Kubernetes cluster and then install control, install and control and okay, yes. Kubeadmin initial. Okay, cool. And let me Kubernetes join the node. Okay, the new nodes in the cluster is ready now. Okay, good pause. And let me deploy the Antrea. Firstly, we must modify the Antrea YAML file. Okay, let me see the Antrea. The Antrea version. The Antrea is the newest version. 1.5. So let's modify the YAML file. Antrea. Okay. We can see I've modified the field before. You can see the change, egress. So we set the egress to true. This is the Antrea controller configure. We also need to set it to true. Then let's deploy the Antrea. Sorry, apply dash yam Antrea. Okay, very quickly. Oh, right, I mentioned it seems all the pods is running now. Okay. Everything fine. Then finally, we can create a static egress. There is egress static yum. Let me try to create a egress with the post-select IP prefer 3, and its egress IP is 26.8. 26.8 is another node IP. Sorry. We can see the egress the node IP is 26.8.
Just a recap, the static egress means that the egress IP is like a fixed one, right?
The static egress means the egress IP is assigned by yourself. So the egress
okay.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The static egress is okay. Then let me deploy deployment to check the connection between the posts and the external nodes. Then let me deploy IP prefer client port. Oh, sorry, I must create a namespace first. Namespace demo. Then deploy. Okay, then deploy the deployment IP prefer 3. Let me check the ports. Okay, our ports is running. There are two IP prefer ports in the cluster. One is in node 1, and another is in node 2. Oh, sorry, must switch with namespace. Okay, we now in the port HHA 8N. Then we start a server in another node. IPRF3. So the server is start. We will pin the server from the from the port IP. Oh, okay, nice. Then we can see the connection information. Now the source IP is 26.8. Let me create the egress.
Wenqi, I'm a little confused. So you are running 2 ports, and then you run IPv session between these 2 ports, right?
Okay.
They are all in the Antrea overlay network. These 2 ports.
Yeah. There are 2 ports. One is in node 1 and one is in node 2. We can see the information.
Okay.
One is in node 1, another is in node 2. So if we pin from the port we pin from the port 6C, and its source IP will be node 1, and we pin from the port 85N, and its source IP will be node 2.
Okay, probably there's something I missed. So the IPv server is not on any of this port. IPv server is on an external client. On an external node, right?
Yeah.
I see. Got it. Yeah. Sorry
okay.
for interrupting.
Can you show the IP of the node again?
Oh, okay. In the cluster, there are 2 nodes.
Okay.
Okay, its IP is .105 and .8.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The server node IP is .10. So we can see the.
Got it. I know. Got it. You just want to use IPv to show the client IP, the source IP of the client. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Then we will. Okay, now we can see the source IP is .105, which is the control plane nodes IP. Then we create egress, egress static yum. Okay. we can say the egress was created successfully, and the egress IP is .8. And then let me try the connection between the client and the server. Oh,
yeah,
so
see that.
Yeah, we can say the source IP has changed. The source IP has changed to the egress IP, which is one of the cluster node. So this is a static egress. Okay, let me go back to the.
Yeah, but one thing I observed that the throughput actually dropped quite a lot. Originally, I think it's like 4 gigabytes per second, right? Sorry, 4 gigabits per second, but now it's just around 1.5 gigabits now. It probably is expected since we have an ISO hop for egress for the traffic goes to the egress node. Yeah, but definitely a drop we can see here.
Okay, let me continue. Then we can delete the egress, and we will show something about the external IP pool, how to use external IP pool. So firstly, delete egress name. So that firstly, we create external IP pool. Let me see the external IP pool. Okay. There is external IP pool resource example, and this IP range is start from .250.
So this IP pool has a single IP, right? Could I say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me pin the egress. So this IP is free. Let me go to the information of the external IP pool. EIP. We can say the total the total IP of the external IP pool is 1, and the used is 0. It means there are one free IP in the external IP pool, and 0 of them are used. Then let me create an egress with external IP pool. Okay. We will fill the external IP pool with the EIP test IP IPv4-1, which is the external IP pool we just created. its port selector is abb equal to IPRF3. And so let's create an egress. Firstly, then we will check the IP address of the workload. We can see the Antrea egress 0 interface. There are no IPs in this interface. Then we will create the egress. Okay, it egress. So the egress IP was allocated to the node 1. Let me check the node information. The node 1 is the control plane node. And we can see the IP address. Then let me try to pin the server from the port again. Let me see the. Okay, we can see the source IP has changed to the new egress IP 1.250. This is the egress IP we just created.
Yeah, for this time the throughput is pretty good too, right? That because the client port are on the same node as the egress node.
Let me check the.
I guess might be okay.
I guess so. Maybe Wenqi could try to change the node selector of the external IP pool so that we can migrate the egress IP to another node to see whether there is a decrease. And then this may show the capacity of migrating egress IPs. Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I guess. Maybe we can try it.
Oh, okay. Let me change the external IP pool.
I guess you need to change the YAML file, right?
Because there are only 2 nodes in the cluster, if we want to test the failover, we must first create an egress located in the worker node. Then we restart the worker node, and we will then we will see the egress will
Sure.
we'll move to control plane node. and so on.
Yeah, I guess probably we don't have time for the failover part. I think Chen just asking, could we change the node to the worker node, so we can see any change in the bandwidth, and we can see if the egress IP move to that workload. Yeah, we can also do this.
Okay. Then we
Chen, do we support the runtime update?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, really? I don't know that.
We watch the update of external IP pool and we will react.
Okay, but in this case, since we just add a new node, we will keep the IP on the existing assigned node, or we might recompute.
Yeah, we will recompute because it's based on consistent hashing. So
I see.
I'm
Wenqi,
not
how
sure.
about let's just try.
Mm.
We just keep two loads in the values, and then we reply the YAML. Yeah, let's can see if we can support the runtime update, and then if we happen to reassign IP to the new node. Could we just
No.
apply? I think Chen believe we can support runtime update.
Yes. Just apply
Yeah, let's
the
try.
external IP pool change.
Oh, it changed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Good
really
luck.
changed. Yeah,
Cool.
it's lucky too.
Now the egress IP have moved to the node 2.
Maybe let's check again the throughput. So this update should be transparent to the client, right? It will keep the original egress IP, but we may expect some decrease in throughput because it is no longer in its same the node. The egress node will be different from the node it runs on. Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since your theory got approved.
Okay. Let me restart the worker node. Let me restart.
Okay, we can even show failover.
The node is ready, still ready. The
Okay,
egress change it to the control plane node.
Yeah, just for people don't have enough context here, basically I think we just should we support auto failover of egress IP when the current egress node failed. For example, in this case, when just reset the node, so it will be removed from cluster. And in that case, we can auto detect the load failure, and we auto move the egress IP from the failed node to the new node. And in this case, since we just have two nodes, so it will move to the control plane node.
Okay, so if the egress node is changed, will the IP of the node change to the like for example, if the first node is down and we change the egress node to the second node, so will the node IP of the second node be changed to the egress IP?
No, I think that's the key, right? We with egress we allow you to specify a particular IP for your egress traffic, and we also support to automatically allocate a dedicated IP for the traffic. In either case, we keep the IP unchanged unless you change the policy. Otherwise,
Okay.
IP won't change, but the IP can move between nodes. If one node failed, we move the IP to another nodes automatically.
Okay, gotcha. And the user will not like detect this
Yep.
change.
Yep.
Okay, that's really smooth.
Okay, the demo is sorry. No, but then we go back to the presentation.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but there's one more question. Are long-running TCP connections reset during the egress failover? By the way,
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
I think the answer is yes. Actually, we cannot keep the existing connection since we lose the state TCP state on the egress node, right? Move to a new node. So far we don't sync the state between nodes, so the connection will be broken, and then probably the client will start a new connection.
Okay, let's go back to the. So about the Antrea Egress failover, we can see it's very fast. In the Antrea agent, because there is a member list cluster was created in the background when the egress feature is turned on. And the local node will join all the other Kubernetes nodes in member list cluster, which using Gosper protocol. The Gosper protocol is a communication protocol that allows state sharing in distributed system. And typically, it takes less than 3 seconds to detect a node failure. So we can see that the Trojan quickly detected the node failure and moved the egress IP to another node. Okay. Then there is some limitations about the egress feature. The feature is currently only support for nodes running Linux and in kernel mode. But it can support IPv4 and IPv6. The support for Windows and other traffic modes will be added in the future. So this is the end of my presentation today. And feel free to ask any questions. By the time, it seems that the Antrea project will release a new Antrea version 1.6. In this release, the Antrea feature will turn on by default. Okay. It seems that the Antrea project maintenance are here. I think they can answer some more deep, some in-depth technical questions. Thank you.
Yeah, it's one last demo, Wenqi. I got to say we almost demoed every features of this egress functionality.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I think that no one hear what I was saying. I mean that thanks Wenqi for this demo. It's really great and really cool to see this running here, and also congratulations to having this feature ready in the Antrea 1.6 release, and also like thanks everyone for watching this episode. And we are right about time to finish. So is there like any questions? Last one. Okay, seems like if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us in the Antrea's Slack channel. And thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate your time. See you next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.